Welcome to the Light, Camera, Rant Podcast, your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Lights, Camera, Rant. For this particular episode, we're going to be looking at the latest news in the past week, everything that's happened with movie theaters charging too much, to Disney sequel Mania, to The Last of Us episode 4 and 5. And obviously, we are streaming on. We'll be streaming on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube right now. And when this episode does drop on all of our streaming platforms, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, after that, we will also be reviewing all the trailers that will be coming out on Super Bowl Monday, which we will be getting a new trailer for The Flash, another trailer for Fast 10, and a few others. So if you're listening to this episode, you're like, oh, why didn't you review it? Is because we go live every Sunday and the episodes drop on Tuesday. But without a further delay, let's get into this episode. Currently right now, I'm drinking Kraken rum, which is fantastic. Which I haven't been had a drink for an episode for a very long time because I've been recording very early. So it's nice to get into this. So this past week, it's interesting in the sense that, we're well into the year now. Like, we're currently recording episode 90, which it only feels just the other day that I started recording and we're going to episode 80. That's the weird thing. And before you know it, which we have scheduled, is our episode 100 of Lights, Camera, Rant. That's obviously 10 weeks away, but when that comes around, that's even going to be itself. I was like, oh, holy shit, where does the time go? And even that next episode that we're going to do next week, we are going to be reviewing Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantum Mania. Like, it just feels like yesterday that we got that and Wakanda Forever. Like, it just feels like we just watched that just recently, and now here's Ant-Man to kick off Phase 5, and we are going to get Kang, his first full appearance, which I am so excited for. I can't wait. I'll be seeing it this Friday, and we'll be reviewing it next Tuesday. So strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen. So to start for the news of the week, we got a very unusual, I know unusual, but something that's going to divide a lot of people, and that being AMC theaters have announced that they will be, well, obviously, once upon a time, you buy your $20 ticket. You can sit anywhere in the theater that you pick. Well, right now, apparently, AMC theaters will be charging in future that whatever seat you pick, your price will be a difference, even if it's in the same theater. So if you sit right up the front, which are the shit seats, they'll cost you like $15. But if you want to sit in the prime zone in the middle towards the back, they'll be charging you $25 or $30, even more, which is ridiculous. You should be able to just pay the price and go in, and that's it. If you want to go to something luxury, then you pick gold class, or you pick the premium version. That's what you pick. But not if you're just going for the average ticket. Like, that's so bullshit. When I saw this news, I thought, well, you've just alienated so many people, and you've alienated people who, they might not have a lot of money. Like, if you've got a family of 6, you're stuck up the front, depending on price. And you got the people in the middle, but they're like, what? How can you do that for just your kids? That's the hard part. You've got a big family. A Marvel movie. If a Marvel movie comes out and you want to buy the tickets, you have to pay a little bit extra if you want prime seating, even if you're not wanting to go that next level. So when I saw this, I just thought, fuck, like, that's ridiculous. And because you've done that, I don't think it's going to fly. I think it's going to hurt them a lot. People are going to be going to other theaters because of it. And other theaters will make more money because more people go to them because they can pick wherever they want. So I feel sorry for anyone who is going to get hurt by this or going to feel the effects of not being able to buy a ticket for their family. But it seems such a strange, they're just trying to make more money. It seems such a strange pick of a thing to do that even though you're in the same theater, the pricing is different up to, obviously it's different for a concert because you're going so close, but not for a movie. You should be able to just pay your ticket. You pick anywhere to sit. If you want something more, you pay for more, but not in the same theater. So I think that's going to struggle, and I think that's going to hurt a lot of people, especially the company. So for anyone who doesn't go to AMC theaters, you're fine. Like myself, we don't have AMC theaters here in Australia. We've got so many other ones, but we don't have AMC theaters. So I'm really glad that hasn't affected us here in Down Under. Thank God. Moving on, we also got our first trailer for Fast 10. Yes, the 10th entry plus the spin-off. It makes 11. We have got the 10th entry in the Fast and the Furious franchise, which the logo looks like it's a new X-Men movie. Okay, so this trailer, I watched it. It's a bit of a long trailer, but this cast is enormous. You know, you got everyone from the original movies, whatever you call the original movies. You got everyone that's come along since then, like John Cena and Charlize Theron, and now we've got Jason Momoa, and we've also got Brie Larson. We got Brie Larson as well. She's going to be in it. This cast is enormous, and yeah, exactly right. Kale from Kale L Daly, who's just come past on YouTube Live. Yeah, it's X-Men. The logo is just a giant X in Fast and Furious. I'm like, oh, good, new X-Men movie. Oh no, it's just Fast and Furious. However, the funny thing is, with the Fast and Furious franchise, anything could happen. Fast and Furious could cross over with X-Men. It could cross over with Jurassic Park. Vin Diesel will do anything to keep the franchise going. And you got to remember, this isn't actually the last movie. We have another movie after this with Fast 11. So I can't remember if it's Fast 10 and Fast 11, or it's actually going to be Fast 10 Part 1 and Fast 10 Part 2. Oh my God. Just internal screaming for about the whole thing. But, and again, towards the end, yes, it's exactly right. Again, how Logan will pull up in his car that will be made of antimonium, the whole thing, and then do a street race against Vin Diesel. Actually, I would actually pay to see that. And Logan better win. But yes, that is going to be happening. That obviously this year, and we'll be getting another separate trailer for the Super Bowl that will be coming out, which I'm very curious to see. So I was going to say, and again, Jason Momoa is the son of a guy they killed in 4 movies ago, which continues a trend of family. They continue that trend. So you guys, you tell me, are you excited for Fast 10? Or are you just I'm done with the franchise, or this is just like mind-numbing action that you don't give a shit about? Please let me know. Speaking of what's in the news, this past week, Joe Rogan has been knocked off his perch as the #1 podcast on Spotify. He was beaten by no other than Harley Quinn. Yes, that's exactly how that sounds. So a Harley Quinn podcast series came out, similar like the Batman series that came out last year. That is now live, and due to this popularity, Harley Quinn has kicked Joe Rogan off the top perch. Now, obviously, Joe Rogan will go back on his perch, but yeah, right now, Spotify, Harley Quinn is your winner. Is the most streamed podcast for the past week. And it was the title, when I saw the title saying Harley Quinn has beaten exactly right. Michael from Star Wars. I really don't care about Fast and Furious. I dropped off after Fast 4. But yeah, I couldn't believe I saw Harley Quinn had beaten Joe Rogan. I'm like, what is this? Yeah, again, same as last year. Batman the series beat Joe Rogan again. But yeah, if you guys do see that, that's exactly what that is right now. So that was interesting to read and try and decipher. But so speaking of Batman, a rumor that is going on right now is that Christian Bale could be returning as the Cape Crusader. The rumor is going around that he might be in the new James Gunn universe. He might be popping up. The other rumor has seen that he might have a cameo in the Flash movie that's coming out later this year, June 16th, I do believe it is, which we did get a new poster for, which a little part of me, it's like, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. The poster looks fantastic. And the only reason I'm excited for the Flash, I'm going to be honest with you, is only Michael Keaton and Batfleck. I like Flash as a character. I just don't like the version of the Flash that Isla Miller does play. Not to mention, he's going to be very interesting on the premiere, how he's going to be reacting and acting. At the premiere, I'm sure WB execs will be very close to him to make sure there's no Hawaiians or anyone that he can attack or going on. I'm sure that just reading that. Sure, he's not going to be allowed to say too much when he does appear. Let's be honest. So, but yeah, we got the new episode for Flash. So that's really good. Sorry, and I'm sure we're getting the teaser trailer, which I will touch on. Super Bowl guys, get ready for that. Also, speaking of still giving Batman and Christian Bale, not only is Christian Bale might be returning, Ben Affleck is returning separate from the Flash altogether. Because apparently James Gunn saying that he's spoken to Ben Affleck to direct or work on a project, not returning as Batman, but just working on a project. James Gunn didn't say what the project was or what he would be doing, but there will be a project in the future that will be helmed by Ben Affleck. I'm very curious to know what he's going to pick. Obviously, we only got 4 movies and 4 TV shows in James Gunn's announcement last week. So whether or not it is one of those or if it will be something further, that's what we're going to be looking. That's what's going to be coming out as well. So yeah, I don't know what Ben Affleck could be doing without being Batman or what he wants to helm. That's probably the biggest question, is like what does he want to look into? Like, what does he want to touch on? That's the $1 million question. However, still speaking on superheroes, Spider-Man Noir fans. Now, I know Spider-Man Noir fans are very disappointed that Nicolas Cage will not be coming back. The character will not be in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse Part 2. However, apparently he will be getting a TV show on Amazon. Spider-Man Noir will get his own TV show on Amazon, which okay, cool. Like I'm happy for it. Like I'm happy for the character. But at the same time, it's weird that it's on Amazon. There's Sony, so that's okay. But yeah, for any Spider-Man Noir fans, you're getting more. You're getting more Spider-Man Noir, regardless of not being an animated. So strap yourselves in for that. Okay. I've looked forward to it. Like, I'll watch it, but Spider-Man Noir is probably the least Spider-Man I thought would get a TV show or a spin-off in any kind of fashion. But yeah, that is also in the works. Now, speaking of spin-off and TV shows and all the fun stuff, is that Disney has gone into sequel mania mode. Yes, that is correct. We are getting Toy Story 5, which has been confirmed by Tim Allen's Twitter that he'll be returning as Buzz. Lightyear, and obviously maybe Woody. I assume Woody, but yes, Toy Story 5. Now, I don't. This is out of all the announcements. There was three major ones. This is the first one. This is probably the least one I thought would get a sequel. Like Toy Story 3 was such a great ending to the trilogy. Fantastic. And then Toy Story 4 was, again, such a good ending. Fantastic. But why are they making number 5? Why? I can't think of what type of story they could tell that would be so interesting. You know, Woody's stayed with Bo Peep and he's doing all that. And then Buzz gone off with the kiddo. Like, what? Like, there must be some story that's going to have to bring them back together. But how much can these toys go through? that's the part I'm struggling with. Like, how much can these toys go through for, to keep going? So, yes, for any Toy Story fans, Toy Story 5 is on the way. Yes, 100%. Michael from Star Wars, I would rather have a Woody's Roundup movie than to like Lightyear than Toy Story 5. That would be a lot more interesting to see. Like, I know Lightyear did have its wins and losses, but it was a really good origin story, especially animation was fantastic. But I would like to see like a Woody's version, not like a prequel, but I still think a Woody century, like a Woody like the Lightyear movie, would be fantastic. But knowing Pixar, they'll probably recast. Oh my god, I just forgot his name. Oh shit, I just totally forgot his name. Man, I was a voice actor for Woody. Wow, why did that just jump out? I had it on the tip of my tongue. He probably will not. They'll probably recast him and get someone else again, like what they did with Lightyear and got rid of Tim Allen, which they did have to do a disclaimer right at the start to separate Tom Hanks. Play Tom Hanks. How did I forget that? Yes. Toy Story 5 could very much be just a cash grab. I fully agree. It very much could. And it's interesting because once upon a time, Pixar films, they weren't about sequels. Toy Story was the only movie they did sequels to. Everything else they were pumping out was original IPs. But now, Toy Story 5 is on the way. Now, the other sequel that did get announced, which was kind of no surprise, I surprised it didn't get announced earlier, was Frozen 3. Frozen 1 was outstanding, and all the reviews for it were great. It is such a solid film. It's such a good film. And now and the second one was good too. Different songs, maybe not as much as what everyone liked. But yes, we will be getting Frozen 3. That is in the works. Whether or not it will hold up to the first two is a different story, or what shape it will take. These are only announcements, so there is no Lisa's. Yes, Michael, I'm glad they're not doing another Cars 4. Cars 3 was good. It was a lot better than the second one. Even Cars 3 was more of a sequel to Cars than Cars 2 was. But yes, we don't need Cars 4. No, thank you. But Frozen 3, now these are just announcements. There's nothing about plot. There's no details. Just the fact it is currently in the works, which it seems like ages ago since Frozen 2 came out. Seems like a while, but hey, I'm glad it's there. And the last announcement that we did get, which again, thought this was in the works for ages. I'm glad that I thought they would announce this earlier. Like, I had no doubt this was going to be in the works, but Zootopia. We are now getting Zootopia 2. That is currently in the works. The first one was a really good film. Like, as I said, I thought they would pump out a sequel a lot quicker than this, but I'm glad it's not. I'm glad it's. I'm glad it's finally getting announced because the first one was so good, and we are going to be getting. Oh wow! This is just terrible on my part. This is gonna be really good. If they take the same kind of care with it, it's gonna be fantastic. So keep that in mind. For any Zootopia fans, for any Frozen fans, Toy Story fans, I don't know how you're going to feel about that. Toy Story fans, I don't know how you're going to feel about Toy Story 5. But yeah, Toy Story 5 is on horizon. And speaking of still going on sequels, for any Riddick fans, for Chronicles of Riddick, Pitch Black, we will be getting Riddick 4. Vin Diesel has announced that is currently in the works. So for any of those fans, that's going to be coming soon. No release date at this stage, but it is on the horizon. Also continue on. Now, I forgot to mention last week, amongst all the DC news, one thing that is still currently in the works that James Gunn didn't mention is the Constantine sequel with Keanu Reeves. That is still coming. That will be coming out at some point. That is part of the plan. But James Gunn really just want to focus on the first films after the Flash that are shaping up. So, Constantine fans, don't you worry. This bit of news is going to be very interesting in the sense that I don't know what this could turn into, but it could make a lot of money, and it will be very very. I don't know, Michael. I don't know how many Riddick fans do listen or watch this podcast, so probably not much at all. Like, I kind of completely forgot about Riddick at all, especially because all the sequels have different titles. It's not like Riddick 1, 2, and 3. Yes. So what released in the past week or past 2 weeks was the Blood and Honey, the Winnie the Pooh horror movie that released. That did come out, and the directors said that they want to turn the Winnie the Pooh horror movie into a shared universe, like the MCU of Disney or fairy tale horror movies. He wants to turn that into a shared universe and expand upon it. What shape is that going to take? I have no idea, and I really hope that in the comments, DM me what fairy tale or what Disney characters like Winnie the Pooh would you like to see pop up in this shared horrorverse for the very first time. But I've been seeing more clips with the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, and oh my god, this is interesting to say the least on what this movie. So if you have watched the movie, please let me know what you think. I will get around to it at some point to watch it, and I will review it. But yes. So, and the last bit of news that we do have is two things. One, recently on Hugh Jackman's Instagram page, he is currently looking like Jackman. He is eating, he is bulking up for Deadpool 3 for the shoot. He is getting ready, he's getting ripped. It's going to look great and fantastic. I think he's just like getting all ready for it. So that's going to be really cool. I just can't wait for Deadpool 3. And not only is Hugh Jackman getting ripped for it, is that just recently in a interview, someone asked Patrick Stewart, will you be appearing in Deadpool 3? And all Patrick Stewart said was, I've just been told to stand by. So, which means we could very well be seeing Patrick Stewart and Hugh Jackman return on the screen for the very first time and see Patrick Stewart talking to, oh God, Michael, yes. Holy shit, a Dumbo horror film. Oh, a Dumbo, the trunk is that would be, oh shit, that'd be horrific. Not to go over a topic, but yeah, that's you don't want to see a Dumbo horror film? Yeah, let's take your money for that. But Patrick Stewart could very well be, and Patrick Stewart could also be seeing Deadpool for the very first time on screen. These characters haven't interacted in live action, which they've only done a slight cameo behind him, but that's it, nothing more. So Deadpool 3 is really shaping up to be not an event film, but shaping up to be really interesting. As I said, from the plot details, we're going to be getting the TVA. Owen Wilson will be appearing. We're getting Hugh Jackman as Wolverine in peak mode, not Logan mode. Like it's in the MCU. Like, I know it's so far away. I know it's so hard to get hyped up for these things because you get so excited and you're like, it's so far away. Like, why should I care? I'll just wait out. But just seeing these little tidbits just make me more excited. And I know it's so far away. And I know Phase 5 is only starting next week, which is it with Kang, which the little photos I have seen or clips, try not to watch too much. Honestly, if anything else in cinema right now, the MCU is take my money, continuing. I'm so excited for Phase 4. I'm so excited for Phase 6 and beyond. I'm in for the wild ride, which I just recently, Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, was just talking about how he saved Kevin Feige from getting fired because someone didn't like him because of the presidency change at Marvel Studios. Imagine firing Kevin Feige. And this was back in 2015, because if I don't know if you remember, there was a bit of direction change and staffing changes back in 2015 with Captain America Civil War, because there was a big disagreement whether or not Iron Man should be in Civil War because of how much Robert Downey Jr. wanted to be paid. So there was a second script for Civil War if Iron Man didn't appear, but Kevin Feige pushed for Iron Man to be in there, and he spoke to Disney, says Bob Iger, and we got the film we are today. So that makes a lot of sense that at that time there was a bit of rift with everything going on, which here we are today. Now, another thing I forgot to mention as well is that this past Thursday or Friday, Hogwarts Legacy dropped. That's currently out right now, and that broke the record on Twitch for 1.7 million streams on day one. That is insane. That many people streaming that game right then and right there. And I've also picked up the game, so I will have a review incoming for the game. I hope to not have as long stretch as I did for God of War, but please bear with me. So there, guys, that is the biggest news that happened in the past week, which, holy shit, just so much, and it's only going to increase as we move into next week with Ant-Man. Now, another thing I forgot to mention as well is that last week's episode, we had Film versus Film podcast. They're a UK podcast, so please check out our last episode and check out them. Also, please go check out This Week in Metropolis. I recently made an appearance on their most latest episode with James and Matt. That was a lot of fun. Please go check out their channel. So without further delay, let's get into the reviews. So we have episode 4. We have episode 5 of The Last of Us. Episode 4 being Please Hold My Hand. Episode 5, Endure and Survive. Now, as a lot of people, if you're just tuning in for the very first time, I have not played The Last of Us video games. So this is all fresh to me. This is fresh take on the entire thing. Now, the reason why we got 2 episodes back to back was because HBO Max didn't want to go up against the Super Bowl, which is fair enough. I would probably do the same. Still got the views. Please Hold My Hand got 8.5 on IMDb. Endure and Survive has a 10.0 on IMDb. So no love lost and then bring out it earlier. It just means one less week we get to do this. Now, as it all begins, we also see Joel and Ellie still traveling across country in the car. And one thing I find fantastic about this show is that it's really showing you the grasp of how post-apocalyptic this world is. How everything is such a mess. There's cars everywhere. There's trees, things are overgrown. Like they've really set the scene. And the thing is, because of what we've just experienced, of what we experienced because of the global pandemic we're just in, it almost hits home a little bit closer because because you remember all planes were grounded in COVID. Nothing was in the air except planes here and there. There was not as much traffic on the roads. The animal life came back to Venice. Airports were full. Like it was such a weird time. So seeing all this to me, think like, oh, if we went in a particular direction, this could have happened to us. The extreme. But if COVID mutated like this and everything, we were a little bit step, but not to that same degree, which this show is continuing to grow to show this world and is fantastic. The world building is beautiful. They're still taking their time, and every little bit of detail pays off so much. And I said, I'm not a big horror fan, but I've been really enjoying, or zombie fan, I've really been enjoying this, and I want to know more as it continues. And as the episode continues, we also see Joel and Ellie continue to build on their relationship together. Ellie's still trying to bond with Joel. Joel's still being that silent asshole, which I did feel for her when he said to her that, we're not family, you're cargo. I was like, oh, that's a bit rough, a little bit. And actually, because he does tell about his brother and where he went on the different fractions to try and save the world for a better tomorrow. And the thing is, they do stay in the forest. Now, I realize this. They stay in the forest, and Joel didn't sleep. He stayed awake the whole time to protect Ellie. I don't know if I took a breath. So it's the moments like that that's fantastic to see. It's those quiet moments. Like this episode 4 doesn't have a lot of action in it. It's a low, steady pace. We do get a little bit of action, which leads into they try and go into Kansas City. They get trapped, which is same in the video games. Again, same thing. They get duped. Unfortunately, their tires get clipped. They crash. Joel gets into a fight, and we see Ellie, who's been hiding the gun the whole time, shoot a person for the very first time. Now, she feels surreal because, for someone who just caught a cargo, she shot this person for the very first time to protect him. Yeah, you do feel that moment, and you do feel when Joel says to her, go behind the wall, I'm going to finish this, and you do hear as he kills the guy. But it's moments like that, and when you're watching it, you're just like, oh, it's very raw, and while you're watching it. And as it progresses, you see this entire military force that's in it, rebels, essentially, to dumb it down, who have taken over the city. And they're trying to find one person, which is named Henry and Sam, which you will find out later on through the episode. But episode 4, as it continues, we do see that Joel and Ellie try and find a place to stay, and they to lie low because now they're stuck, and they need to find transport. So they're still getting stuck on their travel trying to deliver Ellie. And it's a really creepy scene. So I didn't really know. I only noticed this about halfway that they've gone into this city, and compared to the city that we saw them in at the very start of the show, there's no infected. There's no infected. There's only burnt bodies, of people burning bodies, not of the infected. So I thought I was like, okay, all right, I understand that. And then what we get into is they see that there's this. They find out that they're all been pushed underground. There's a whole like man cave that looks like it's about to cave in because all the infected try and get to the roof or try and get to the surface, which is intense. But this lady, Catherine, she just wants Henry because of what's happened between her childhood. Hell, she kills her own doctor because he can't give her the answer. That's a bit rough. Um, get into that. So Joel and Ellie find a place. They rest up, and in about 10 minutes later, they find out there's Henry and Sam, who Kathleen's been hunting. They find them, and it's a very intense scene. But just before they go to sleep in this new place, we do get a moment where Ellie's trying to do puns, trying to get Joel to laugh, and we do get another good moment. So it's a lot more relationship building towards the end, and they're a lot closer. Now, going into episode 5, now this is out of 2, this is the more intense one. This is the one that's everything kicks into overdrive. So Henry and Sam, they tell him that there's a way to get out of the city. He explains why he's being hunted and why Catherine wants his balls and why there's no infected. I was like, whoa. And why everything's happening. So they do find a way to get out, going through underground, which you get to see this. Reminded me, they go into the ground and they see this whole like kinder or this these kids used to stay. It's completely empty, which is very creepy. And I was maybe think of Fallout. It made me think of Fallout, which we are getting a Fallout TV show, but that's what it made me think of when you're seeing all this underground world of what it used to be. Now they do get out, they do take the tunnel. We get another good moment between Ellie and Sam, because Sam is deaf, so we have to do the sign language. That's all nice. But as they finally get out, they're heading through this town. They're so close to finding the bridge to get out of here, and then they start getting sniped from someone from very far away. Joel obviously does his thing. He goes to he kills him. However, this guy's alerted the other people, the militia. They're going to be coming to hunt them. They're about there in 5 minutes. They rock up in so many people, trucks, everything come into it. You see them. Now, Joel, like enough, he does shoot the driver of the bulldozer, which goes into a house and blows up. So we have this street setting with fire, the orange line, the black. This set piece that we get is in this setting, which it looks great. And then, unfortunately, they all get stuck. Henry has to give himself up, but as Henry goes to give himself up, he then you see the truck that ran into the house exploded, start to fall down into the manhole. And next becomes the best action setting in the last 2 episodes. All this infected rise up out of the ground, and it comes into this massive scene, this massive action piece. It's almost like a small army versus an infected, which they start losing, obviously. Joel's in the window, shooting down the infected to save Henry, Sam, and Ellie. Comes a fantastic set piece. It gets intense. Ellie nearly gets bitten by a little girl that can talk in different ways, very much like a ballerina through this car seat. And Ellie goes to save Sam and Henry underneath the truck because the infected's trying to get them. And then this giant ass infected beast, which I can't remember the name of, comes out, which is like a bulldozer or infected, and starts ripping heads off people very easily, which you do see the lead military guy lose his head. No pun intended. Lose his head. So you do see that. And Joel's still shooting. He's doing fantastic to save him. And Kathleen, the bitch lady, she also gets her knuckles. She also gets straight away. Thanks to that little girl, which that was going to happen. You knew she was going to die. And they all get away. Now, this part becomes very sad. So they got away. Everything that happened, they got away. They did it. It was fine. And they're staying up in this place. And they talk about how Joel's like, you can come with us, you can come travel with us, stick together. And Allie's in the room with Sam, and they're talking, and she finds out that he's been bitten. And so Allie cuts her hand, gets some blood, hopes to heal Sam. However, unfortunately, it doesn't. The next morning they wake up, she starts getting attacked. Henry freaks out. He freaks out. He shoots the kid because he's attacking Ellie terribly, and then he can't go on with what he's just done and freaks out, and then straight away in front of Ellie and Joel, which brings Ellie and Joel back to by themselves after everything that just happened. Again, it's just showing you how raw this world is. Ellie thought her blood could fix, but it didn't. It didn't at all. And just towards the end of the episode, with so much action, so much going on, it was just like, oh my god! Like, it's again showing you how raw this this world is, and how endure and survive. That's what the episode is called, endure and survive, and you understand it. But the action, the CGI, the set pieces, this show is still, since episode 1, is keeping to that high level. HBO Max have spent so much money into this. The acting is fantastic, and I can't wait to see what's further going on in the next episodes towards the end. So if you haven't jumped on HBO, if you haven't jumped on it now, you need to 100% before it all finishes. Which I'm pretty sure it's 9 episodes or 10 episodes. So we are getting close to the end in the end. Pretty sure. So guys, that is my review for The Last of Us episode 4 and episode 5. As I mentioned, next week we'll be reviewing Ant-Man and Quantum Mania. That's going to be fantastic. And I would like to say thank you very much for everyone who came past in this episode. Shout out to everyone who was in the chat. Your absolute pleasure. And please reach out to me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and let's chat. What is a horror movie that you would like to see in the Disneyverse? Are you excited for Fast 10? What is your favorite trailer from the Super Bowl? And what do you think of The Last of Us so far? Please, and as always, it is an utter pleasure. Until next time, happy ranting.